What is pussy popping, you beautiful humans? My name is Ariane Andrew.
I'm Matt Dillon, and welcome to another piping hot episode of Sippin' the Tea. Where we want, girl?
Where we sip the tea and I guess spill
Spill
that
that
tea.
tea. Yeah, honey, I'm not gonna leave you hanging anymore. It's 2021. It's a new me. I promise you that.
Okay, thank you, because I was like, you've been leaving me hanging on the tea part.
Yeah, pretty much November, December, I left you hanging, girl.
Rude. But where's mommy's?
It's 2021. She's being a diva. She's not. This is not SAG supported, so she ain't playing no games today, honey. Where's Glitty?
In her little bed right here sleeping.
Listen, girl, I'm very excited today. We have model, advocate. It's like ultimate slashy, really. Mara Martin, so much to discuss with you. Welcome to an episode of Sippin' the Tea, girl.
Thank you so much for having me. You guys are so much fun.
Yes.
I wish I had a tea. Now I didn't even think about it. I should have brought a coffee mug or something. I should have brought wine, really.
She's my kind of girl already. Cheers to that.
Okay, well, we're in a brand new year. It's 2021, and 2020 was very interesting, to say the very least. A lot of stuff happened, but we want to focus on the positives. So what was something positive that you took away individually, as a mom, as a wife? Girl, spill the tea.
I feel like it really grounded me. I was going, after I went viral on the runway, I was going and just not really living in the moment. It sounds really cliche, I know, but I actually had to sit down, play games, be present. And I think that was the most positive thing about it, was I actually got to just be a mom and just do that for a long time. I felt like I never left the house and I wanted to get out all the time, but it felt really good just to kind of sit down and do those things and fun things and be creative and build forts and just stuff like that. We don't really get to do that very often. I feel like everyone's always go, go, go. And it felt really good just to kind of just sit down and do fun things.
I like that. I like that it kind of centered back to, I think, what there's a lot of messaging happening last year and a lot of people bringing into the new year about finding what's really important. And I guess for you, what's your social media? It's your little girl, your husband, that family connectivity. It's beautiful to watch. And I love that was one of the things that it kind of brought you centered back to the importance of that and being in the present. So it's very nice to hear. Very, very nice to hear. I want to touch on, because you gave a little tea, I do want to touch on the viral moment. I want to hear it in your own words. It was viral in every sense, front page news here, there, breastfeeding on the catwalk, Sports Illustrated. Take us back to the moment as you was that the intention going out there? Was that spur of the moment?
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to backtrack a little bit because,
give me a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to go a little bit back. But I modeled my whole life and I played sports in college. And so Sports Illustrated is one of those things for models that's this pipe dream. Same with Victoria's Secret, Vogue. Right. It's and for me, Sports Illustrated was it, because I was into sports and whatnot. And I modeled for years and nothing really came of it. I had a good career, but nothing, I wasn't a big star or anything like that. So I took a break, had a family, and it was almost like the stars aligned. All of this was supposed to happen, and none of it was planned, but all of it was just you'll hear the story and it's wow, this was supposed to happen to you. But I had a baby and we were living in Canada, and then we happened to move back down to Florida. And Sports Illustrated had their first ever in-person casting, which they've never done in the history of Sports Illustrated. And I was like, we live an hour away. I have to go to this. Obviously I have to go. This is the sign. I have to go. So I was 5 months postpartum, and I was, debating, do I bring her? Do I get a babysitter? So I was like, typically castings take, 20, 30 minutes. You're in, you're out. So I was like, oh, we'll get a babysitter. No big deal. Well, my babysitter canceled, and it was 5 a.m. and I'm like, I can't miss this. I'm going to take her. So I took her to the casting, and to my shock, there was thousands of girls lined up around the block. And I'm like, oh my God, this is okay. So I sat there and I was like, okay, I'm just going to get a really cute picture so I can put in her baby book that we did this. We did the casting together. This is so cool.
Wow.
And I happened to get through the line. I don't know. The line kept going and they called me in and, I met the editors and whatnot. And I remember thinking this, like, I was so happy with myself because just that day I was there at like 6 a.m. until like 6 p.m. in heels with a diaper bag, with a baby. I was so sore, you guys, like, you don't even understand. I was like, physically sore. I'm like, I'm so badass for doing this, like for just the casting. So I got home and, we were just really excited. I went to this and then I got the phone call. We want you to come back. And I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. So we went back the next day and there was like 60 girls left. And I was in this room filled with like Miss USA and I don't know, this girl from the top modeling agency to my left, and here I am, this 5 months postpartum mom. I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely not getting picked for this. So I remember texting Ryan, my husband. I'm like, hey, just start the car, just get it going because I don't want to like waste any more time. He's like, okay, I'll get the car out of ballet, sure. Like, so he was getting the car and they're calling the girls to make the top group in the runway show. And they're like, number 1, number 2, number 3. So it's like number 12. And I'm texting on my phone, like, hey, has the car come? Waiting for the car to get here. And they called my name and I didn't even hear it. I was on my phone texting. The girl next to me was like, I think it's you. And I was like, what? I had no idea. So I made the runway show and, the next day, MJ Day, the editor, was like, hey, you should bring Aria, your baby, in the show. Like she's been with us the whole time. She was at all the casting process and whatnot. So I was like, okay, cool. So I brought her and it was crazy. She was happy backstage, like ready to go. And, she's in a little bikini, matching bikini with me. And then the show got pushed back by 2 hours. And I was like, oh my gosh. So she's backstage and she's about to fall asleep. It's now 9 o'clock at night. I'm like, I'm not taking her down the runway like this. She's, sleeping in my arms. And she woke up, she got hungry. So I started feeding her backstage, like no big deal. I was doing it all weekend. Like no one said anything about it. And all of a sudden the music kicks on and I'm like, oh gosh. So I don't think I've ever said this in an interview before, but I was kind of disappointed because I was like, oh my gosh, I can't go out there. Like I've just achieved this like lifelong dream of working for Sports Illustrated and I had to do my mom stuff. There was no point in me that was going to rip her off and say, it's too bad for you. I have to go do this. I was going to feed her. So I stepped out of line and it was like I said, the stars aligned. MJ happened to pass me. Like she looked at me and saw me step out of line. And it was like a 10-second conversation. She's like, do you want to go? I was like, yeah. Do you care if I go? And she's like, go for it. And I was like, okay. So I walked out there and all of a sudden all these phones go up and I'm like, I don't even know. I didn't even think anything of it. I really didn't. And it sounds like it was like pre-planned, but it like really wasn't. And I went out, came back, rocked her back to sleep. And then the next day it was like, you got to get to Good Morning America. E-News, everywhere. It was just insane. Like my brother was stationed in Bahrain for the Navy and he calls me from Bahrain. He's like, you are on Bahrain's news. And I'm like, like it was a whirlwind. And ever since that day, I feel like it just happened because it really hasn't stopped. Like I still, to this day, it's, it was just this huge moment for women and mothers and, that you can really do anything. I'm in my 30s and I'm, postpartum and walking down a runway with a baby and obviously normalizing breastfeeding. But for the most part, a lot of women were just saying, wow, this is empowering for me that you're confident in your body and that you can go back to work and still be, still chase your dreams. And so it was just such an incredible moment for everybody. And I didn't really get it at the time. And I feel like it's now kind of sinking in 2 years later, how, powerful it was because it was a really cool moment. And again, it wasn't planned at all. It was totally organic. And that's kind of like why I feel like it was such a great moment because it wasn't this publicity stunt. It was actually just me being a mom.
That's so
sorry, that was way longer than I thought. I was like, I'll just do a little intro.
No, girl, but you're explaining the story. And I think that's so super important to have like the background of not only were you being a strong mom, but you're like, okay, I'm also having this moment and how you said the stars were able to align where you were able to still be this badass mom postpartum in your 30s being like, boom, I just did this. And it's crazy because a lot of times people plan for a viral moment, but this just happened for you. So like you said,
it was, yeah. That's why it was so special because it was like, of course you get like Instagram trolls and stuff who thinks that, they think they know what happened and whatnot, but I'm like, it really was like just what I told you. Like, it was like a 10-second conversation, nothing, not me trying to get attention out of this. Like I actually didn't even think people would see it because it was Miami Swim Week. And, anyone from Miami, it's not like New York Fashion Week where all these celebrities are there and stuff. It's a very small venue. Like I didn't even think anyone would even see it, to be honest. Like it was like that small of a thing. So it was just crazy. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. But
I think that's super cool. I think on many levels, it definitely was, I think breastfeeding, the whole culture there, but I think as a woman doing something like that, it's just empowering across the board, frankly. I think it's empowering. I think it's empowering for mothers, for anyone to just live their life and like molding and showing that you can have it all.
Yeah.
yes,
Variations of life. I think that's a real life moment that just goes to show you can literally have it all. It doesn't come in puzzle pieces, it just comes together in some way, shape, or form. It's crazy.
But speaking of being a mom and juggling being a mom and a wife and a model, like how do you find balance?
I feel like balance, everyone thinks there's a balance, but for me, I call it juggling because I don't think you can ever balance anything. This is going to work, this is going to work. And I learned that, I think it was last year, I had a shoot. And I remember being in the shoot and I was trying to do my mom, like be the mom and like play with her, but also get a good photo for myself for this magazine. And then I realized I was like, wow, I'm not doing good at either of these things. I'm actually, not giving my all to either of it. And it kind of made me realize, okay, it's okay that I'm can't do all of it at once at the same time. Everything that you do, let's give it my all at the photo shoot. And then I can have Aria play on her games while I do that. Or when I'm going to be a mom, I'm going to be 100% mom. I'm not going to be on my phone scrolling Instagram. I'm going to do the mom thing. And for me, I really shifted just the way I think that I want to do all these things and I can do all these things and we can as women, but there doesn't have to be an equal 50-50 balance of everything that you do or in life. And I feel bad, but Ryan probably gets the shaft out of all the things. I spend the least amount of time on him. So sorry if he's watching this, but I feel like you have to kind of, divide your time and kind of just juggle it, if that makes sense.
I like that. I like that honesty. I appreciate, I think that's why you connect with your audience because you're no holds barred. It's this pretty exterior, but it's like when you get past that, because you go on and it's beautiful family, beautiful child, beautiful this, but it's real shit going down in real life from the concept of juggling. And last year I saw, that the way you interact with your audience and like child having a tantrum, this and this and that. It's all very relatable to the audience that is there for you, moms, families,
Sure.
probably even dads, because they come and be like, she's sexy. And then they're like, shit, she's real life too. What's that like connecting with, I guess, other women, but other human beings that are going through similar things, like children having a tantrum in the middle of a school or this or that, like real life stuff. What's that like?
I feel like it's I feel like it's so important too with social media. I've heard this a billion times, the highlight reel of, your life. Obviously you're posting pictures that you really like of yourself and filtered. And we're all guilty of it. I love a little Facetune here, get some, whatever. I totally get that. But for my audience, especially, I think people really like the real stuff too, because, perfect is boring and it isn't real life. Those pictures that you stage, me, drinking a cup of wine, smiling. It's actually, I'm like stressed out beyond belief because I have a diaper to change, but those are the things people want to see. And that's what's relatable because we all go through it, whether you are, I always say this, motherhood is the greatest equalizer because whether you're famous or you're from a different country or different, whatever, it is grounds you, and we all go through very similar things, whether it's a kid's tantrum or whether you're changing diapers, we're all doing it. So I feel like it's really good to share those moments because I think Instagram has been so tainted by this perfection, getting this perfect photo in the perfect location. So I actually find joy posting about like tantrums or, potty training or whatever it is, because so many people reply to me. It kind of makes me feel good. Like, okay, yes, I am not the only one that my kid just screamed at me in the store. There are like hundreds of other mothers that are doing this too, and probably even more who are just too afraid to admit it. But it makes me feel better about, what you're going through because you're not alone in it, if that makes sense.
I love that.
Yeah, that's so amazing. And I feel like we need more of that because it is true. Most people are just showing their highlight reel. They're not showing like the days that they're sad. And I think that's what makes people drawn to you because it's being authentic into yourself, just really like honing in on who you are as a person. It seems like you have a very, very strong mindset. And I don't know, because you seem like such a strong woman, a strong wife, a strong mother. What is something that you would tell your younger self?
Oh my gosh, that's such a hard question. I feel like maybe that you can do whatever you want to do. I think as women, we always, I don't know, I kind of limit ourselves. I know I did. I didn't think I could do, like I said, you can have it all. And I think everyone's definition of having it all is, their own thing. And I think I always thought, oh, I'm going to have a family and that's what I'm going to do. And, I'm going to have a family and I also want to have a career too on the side. And I also want to do this and this, and that's okay too. And I think that that's probably the most important thing I would say is that whatever you want to do it. You can do it. And I think that's, hopefully I can ingrain that in Aria, whatever she chooses to do in her life, I'm there behind her. And hopefully I'll be an example that I can show her that, yes, you can do whatever you want to do.
I think that's straight up facts. I think that's beautifully said. And also across the board, men, women, everybody as human beings. I think last year definitely proves that adaptation and being able to kind of roll with the punches, so to speak, that we can do what we want to do. And if you put your mind to it and you become creative and you're able to kind of, adaptation is the key to all of this. That was my greatest takeaway from last year. You brought up your beautiful daughter. I have one question, because she's quite the character.
She is.
She's gorgeous. If she said to you, Mommy, I want to be a model or an actress or this, where do you sit in the petri dish of like, what is your dream for her in this, being that you've been through the good, the bad, the ugly of this entertainment, you know what I mean? It's
sure. Yeah, I've always thought to myself, like I would tell her no to modeling because it's a tough career. You're constantly getting critiqued of like the way you look, and it's not always like the hard work pays off kind of mentality. It's, there's many other factors in it, but I would have to practice what I preach and have to say, if you want to do it, you can do it, go for it. Because I will say this, as crazy as this industry is, it's taught me a lot of stuff and it's made me meet tons of people and tons of connections. And it's essentially gotten me to where I am, if you really think about it. If I wasn't modeling, wouldn't go viral and do all these things. So whatever she wants to do, I'm not like the biggest fan of modeling, but I think if that's what she wants to do, and go for it.
I like that. Practicing what we preach.
Yes. I'd be hypocrite if I'd say you can't do it, because I just said.
Rewind the tape. Rewind
it.
No, but it is the truth, because I do notice, especially being in the entertainment industry, it either makes you or breaks you. So it teaches
Definitely
a lot of lessons that I feel like I wouldn't be where I'm at, or I feel like Matt, you wouldn't be, or you wouldn't be, Mara, because it's just like, it's such a hard business, but it really does ground you, and it teaches you a lot of lessons. So I love that you're like, hey girl, if you want to model, it's a hard industry, but you know what, go out there.
Go for it.
I agree. I think having a mother like yourself, though, is people that understand like the light and darkness to what the reality is, because it's not what everybody thinks it is. There's lights and ebbs and flows in this entertainment world for sure. And I think, if she wants to go down that path, having you as the benchmark, there's levity there, and I think it's cool. I think it's whatever. She's so young right now.
I know she can't really even talk that much. So I won't worry about it in a little bit.
Don't worry about it.
Her colors right now.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up with some quick rapid fire questions. So it's whatever comes to your mind. Okay.
Okay.
If your house is on fire, what are 2 things that you're grabbing?
Okay, I'm assuming I already have my child, so a picture that Ryan drew me of Ari and I, and my locket with a picture of them.
That's cute. I like it. All right.
Wait, you guys should do it too. I want you guys to answer. What are your answers? Okay.
All right, Ari, what would you take?
I would take Glitty, and I would also take that's a good question. I guess something that's like a memorabilia that I can't think of, but something that's like super important, which
the
only really thing I could think of is Glitty.
I would take my dog too. The rest of it it's in short, honey. We'll be good to go. Where is your dream vacation when we can go overseas and live, maybe later this year it's gonna come back to some normalcy.
Yes.
You never know. Where do you want to go?
I don't even know. I don't even know what the location is, but I always see these pictures of like those like little huts that are like in the middle of the ocean. Maybe it's the Maldives or Bora Bora, something like that. Yes, either one of those works for me. I'm good. And as long as it has, yes, right. As long as it has a bed and no alarm clock.
I love the no alarm clock. Sure.
Mornings or late nights?
Oh my gosh, I stay up so late. It's ridiculous. So late nights for sure. And I feel like Netflix has been like the demise of my sleep patterns. So I like get on these docu-series and I'm like, oh my gosh, who killed this lady? And it's like, I'm stressed out all night. I'm like, what am I doing with myself? So definitely late nights.
That's so funny. All right, girls. Well, Ari, you want to take us out, girl?
Yes. For people who are living under a rock, let everybody know where they can follow you at, follow your journey, and what's to come for 2021 in this new year.
Oh, thanks. My Instagram is _Mara Martin, just my name. And this year, I feel like it's going to be, we said this all last year, but this year is the year, you guys. So my book, I'm hoping to publish it this year. I've been working on it for about 1.5 years, 2 years. And I'm hoping to finish a clothing line that I've been trying to collaborate with. And just anything that comes my way. I'm not saying no to anything. After 2020, this is our year to do it all. So, right? Yes.
That is the motto. I will back that up and I will stamp it. Certified.
Yes.
Yes. I'm saying no.
We're not saying no to anything.
I agree.
Matt, where can everybody follow you at?
You can follow me at Matt Dillon 1983 and Ariane.
Can follow me across the board at Ariane Andrew, and of course follow Sippin the Tea at Sippin the Tea TV show on Instagram and Sippin the Tea TV1 on Twitter. Welcome to the new year, guys, and we will catch you guys same place, same time of another episode of Sippin the Tea TV show.
Till next time.